Shalom, and welcome to Bible Stories as Blueprints of the Soul, your Biblical Hebrew podcast. Shalom and welcome to our Biblical Hebrew podcast. A few days ago, we received a question regarding Lot's wife. Why did she turn into a pillar of salt? But before we explain the progress or the process, I would like us to expand. When Abraham is 99 years old, he is asked by God to circumcise himself. At this time, he had 3 friends. All of them were brothers from the Amorite people, and their names were Eshkol, Aner, and Mamre. Since they were his friends, he consulted each one of them regarding the divine request to circumcise himself. And only Mamre was saying, if this is what God is asking, do as he pleases. This is why the Bible grants the great plain next to Hebron upon his name, Alonei Mamre, the oaks of Mamre. Abraham took this advice and circumcised himself when he was 99 years old. The procedure is painful and demands healing. At the 3rd day after the circumcision, Abraham was sitting at the opening of his tent to receive guests. Guests in the Bible or in general are always a symbol of messages from the other world, from the new world, from the infinite. So Abraham, after the 3rd day of the procedure, was already waiting to hear a message that comes from the other world. And then he sees 3 guests. Each one of them deliver a new message for him. One of them is Raphael. Angel Raphael came to cure him from the pain of the circumcision. The second one, Michael, came to inform him that within the next year he shall have a son. The third is named Gabriel. He is the one who informed Abraham that God is intending to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. At this moment, we have to pay attention to this triangle. Healing Abraham from the pain of circumcision, the announcement of a new life to come to a person when he will be 100 years, because 99 plus 1 is 100 years, and in the same breath, to opposite Sodom, to destroy the region of Sodom and Gomorrah. All those 3 things are coming together because they have relevance to each other. Abraham knows in his heart that his nephew, the son of his brother Haran, is living in Sodom. At the very bare evening of this day, the 2 angels, because Raphael stayed with Abraham to heal him, are going to the city of Sodom, disguised or appearing as guests. The city of Sodom, or the whole entity of Sodom, is simple. They live in multiplicity. They live in development. They don't accept something which is new. They don't accept something which is coming from the other world, of that they cannot see and they cannot conceive in their mind. They hate guests. They cannot receive guests. They are filthy rich, and they cannot share anything with anybody, even with the bird of the sky. An ancient lore said that they could not share anything with anybody until they pick up even the last fruit from the tree, that it will not remain to the bird of the sky to eat. Going back to this evening, when the two angels appearing as guests coming to Sodom, Lot knew that the people of Sodom would not be happy to see him receive guests, so he went and sat at the city gate, almost outside of the city, that nobody will notice him, and begging for the guests to come to his home. And they refused, so he held their hands and brought them to his house. But the people of Sodom noticed a strange movement in the city, and immediately they knocked at his door and asked to hand over his guests in a claim that they want to know them. This is a very interesting claim, because if a guest symbolizes the future or the message of the unknown, the people of Sodom, they want to know the unknown already at this moment. They don't want to leave the uncertainty in time to discover new realms. They want to know the future now, like people go to fortune teller. They want to close, they want to box everything in their mind. They want to box everything in their limited mind. Lot instead offers for them his daughters. What does it mean? He offers to them some kind of fruitful relation. Unfruitful relations would be with the people of Sodom and the guests, but fruitful relations will be with the people of Sodom and the daughters. The people of Sodom refuse, and they try to strike the door again, but they're silvered by the light. They cannot find the opening to the house. They cannot find an opening to the new way of living, only what they know. The angels are holding Lot's arms and pulling out of Sodom. Like in a way, he hold their hands to give them grace as guests. In return, they are holding his hands and pulling out of Sodom. But they warn him not to look back. Not to look back at the world of the material. Not to look back at the world of multiplicity, because nothing good can come out of it. And like a groom in a Hebrew wedding, when both parents, both fathers, holding the groom's hand and lead him to the place of the wedding, that he will not have cold feet and run from the new life with the bride, the two guests are holding Lot's arm for the unknown future out of Sodom and Gomorrah. But his wife, her name was Irit, Ain Yod, Reish Yod Taf, is looking back. Irit, from the root Ara, Ain, Resh, He, and the stem letters are 2, Ain, Resh, which means bad and awake. In other words, is the revelation of bad. This is what her name means, to reveal the bad part. And she turns her head back to the world she was coming from, to the world of multiplicity. And one ancient lore says that she was looking back because she wanted to see if her daughters are staying in Sodom or fleeing like a husband. Daughter in Hebrew is Bat, Bet, Tav, 2, 400. Little numbers 2 and 4, the basic of multiplicity. Daughters are always, it's not a feminine description, but the ability to multiply. And she was looking back to see where multiplicity is going, to the world of the matter, to Sodom and Gomorrah, or to the world of the spirit. And at this point, she froze. She became a pillar of salt. When people look at the past, in Hebrew, avar, ain, bet, resh. The word avar, past in Hebrew, has the 2 stem letters of bad or evil, ra, resh, ain, or opposite ain, resh, the awakening of bad or evil. When people look back at time, they look at something frozen, something that they cannot change. Only demons are coming from there. In a way, a person who looks into the past, he sees evil, bad, and much more severe. He sees in front of his eyes a picture that he cannot change. A picture in which he cannot act in, a picture which makes him completely passive, inadequate, subjected to circumstances. Please pay attention to the circumcision that Abraham made at 99 years old. What is the meaning of circumcision? He does not let himself be down by the circumstances. Circumstances are not conditioned for him. So go back to Lot's wife. We cannot look at the past. Looking at the past means 3 things. Looking at bad, looking at evil. We are awakening the evil, we are awakening the bad by looking at the past because we cannot act, because we cannot influence, because we cannot make a choice. The tree of knowledge of good and evil is a manifestation of a person without awareness. And when a person is awake, he will choose good. This is why the wife of Lot, Irit, became a pillar of salt. She looks into the old world, in the world which is not existing anymore, and she cannot act in a world that cannot exist. She becomes a fossil. In the book of Charles Dickens, Great Expectations, there is a person there, Miss Havisham. She is upset because her groom left her at the night of the wedding and ran with her money. And she is upset. And years are passing and everything is frozen in her life. And she tries bitterly to revenge this moment, to revenge this missing opportunity, so to speak. Everything is frozen in her life. Everything is covered with spider web or ice, a place that life never touched, because she is frozen in time. She is frozen. She's a fossil of her disrupted mind. Lot, on the other hand, continues to a new life with the help of the angels, with the help of the guests, with the fact that he remembered how it is to live with Abraham, who used to accept and to invite every guest. The numeral value of the name Lot is 45. like the numeral value of Adam. But Lot is the lowest part of Adam. When Abraham, with the additional letter He, Abraham, because before he was circumcised, God gave him another letter He, and now Abraham's name is composed of 5 letters, including the letter He. And the name Abraham can be divided into 2 parts. Bara, ma. Bara, create. Ma, in Hebrew, is not just what, but also 45, which has the value of Adam. So by granting Abraham another letter He, God grants him the possibility to create human. And this is 1 year before Isaac was born. Abraham has the chance to create human, to correct the first sin of Adam and Eve. So Abraham's new name contains the letters Mem and He, Ma, or the numeral value of Adam. Also, Lot's name contains the value of 45, but those are 2 different mirrors. Abraham holds the upper mirror, the mirror of the spirit. Lot has the mirror of the body. This is why Lot chooses from the beginning to live in the region of Sodom and Gomorrah. But from Lot, Ruth, the Moabite, will come. And those 2 mirrors, Lot descendants and Abraham descendants, will meet through Ruth and Boaz in Bethlehem, and later in the King David. So this was our little conversation about the circumstances, the tree of life, the unknown, and why it is good to always to look for the future to come. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you for listening to Bible stories as blueprints of the soul. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions, comments, or would like to hear more about a certain topic, just write us an email to hebrew@learnoutlive.com. We are always happy to hear from you. For more episodes, videos, and articles like this, please visit our website at hebrew.learnoutlive.com. We also would like to invite you to join our live classes. Just search for Online College of Biblical Hebrew on Facebook and start learning now with students from all over the world. Koltuv and Shalom.